Hi, I'm Ozzie, and welcome back to Football Talk Podcast. It feels like it's been a long time since MatchWeek 1. A lot has gone on. I think a lot of transfer deals have happened, which we'll talk about in more detail throughout the episode. But yeah, we've got lots to talk about today. So, top five, we will be talking about our best players. So, Sid, start away. Who's been one of your top performers this week?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Zaha.
Zaha. Oh, yeah. So you can talk to us a bit about the game in general then. Um, Highlight Zaha first, and then you can tell us what you thought of your beloved United's performance as well.
I think with Zaha, it's not anything new to what you guys are seeing.
No.
It's just the way that the front three of Crystal Palace on that day, Ayew, Townsend, and Zaha, was just full pelt against United, and it was just we couldn't keep up with them. And for me, Zaha, he clearly came with a point to prove. Not that he hasn't played at Old Trafford since he left, but something about his performance today, he's been ready. And from the first game of the season, he's been on it. But it's just too hot to handle, and it begs the question. I think we'll probably talk about this in detail when a bigger club will go in for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, you asked me after the game, what was my view on United?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm happy that we lost.
That's just a weird reaction.
It is.
Why are you happy that your team lost?
It's a weird reaction, but I'll be honest with you. Like, this will highlight the frailties we have within that team and the squad.
Yeah.
And if you don't take note from these things, you can't be helped. You know, I'd rather we lose than we win, and then we mirror over these or paper over these cracks like it's gonna go. My friend, no. Like, we need to buy. And this game for me highlighted that. Of course, I'm annoyed, don't get me wrong, but the grand scheme of things, it's a work in our favour. But yeah, Zaha for me was one of the standout players. What about you?
Yeah, Zaha was amazing in that game. He was just, I feel like, terrorized your defense all game from first minute. In regards to United, a lot of fans are saying that they're blaming basically Woodward, that he should be recruiting more players and stuff. But for me, as an outsider, I think it comes down to Ole. I do not rate him as a manager. It comes down from coaching. You do not have a squad that's not talented. You do have some good players in your team. So obviously, every team needs improvement in some areas. You can always bring better quality. So in terms of numbers, you have the numbers, but you might not have the right quality at this stage. So I think you guys, continuously being linked to Sancho. It's just, I'll be honest with you, it's getting a bit boring now. Because I'll be honest with you, not because I'm a rival fan, I don't think it's going to happen. And it's just like Sky Sports are just doing it for the sake of clickbait, where they're just talking about it every day, and it's just not going to happen. Let's be real. Dortmund aren't a selling team, so they're not going to sell just because Manchester United want a player. So
I think, but it's also dependent on what he wants, I think, as well.
I don't think he wants to leave. I think he's settled at this stage right now. And I kind of thought that last year as well, because he was performing so well, but there's still areas he can improve on as well to live up to his potential. And plus, they've got some amazing young players coming up as well. So they've got the Bellingham as well, who just made his debut the other day. So you've got another British guy there. So that's good for him in terms of like bonding with someone else. And they've got an American player, Reina, as well, who plays on the left wing, who's top talent. So, it's a good place for him to be to, continue playing. There's no rush for him to leave, in my opinion. So, but yeah, back to the game. Zaha was just amazing. I think we mentioned that last episode as well, Sid, that I don't know why no one's bought him yet. He's just such a great player. I think it's basically down to the price tag that Crystal Palace have set. Personally, if I was an Arsenal owner, I would have bought him a long time ago. He would have been perfect for that team. Being an Arsenal fan as well, it just ticks all the boxes, So yeah, it's a strange one. I hope he does get him, because I think he thoroughly deserves it. But it's one of those ones where at this stage there aren't any links, to be honest with you, with Zaha. So hopefully that changes for him as time goes on. We've only got a couple of weeks left now. I think maybe even less than that. So we'll see how it goes on for him. Another player I think we highlighted last week, But he's had another stand-up performance. Is James Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
But last week he had a good performance, but this week he actually scored. Um, Me personally, I thought he wasn't going to do well. Obviously, it's early days. He's only played 2 games, but
But why
he's
did you
showing
think that
signs.
though?
Injury record, like he hasn't really performed to the highest level since when he became the face of the World Cup a few years back. I don't think I think injury records has kind of messed him up a little bit in terms of his level of performance. But if you see his numbers, they aren't bad to the clubs that he's played for. I think he just wanted to be at a team where he's kind of like the main guy.
Mm.
If you're at Real Madrid, that's not going to happen with Cristiano Ronaldo being there previously, and then Bayern as well. They're not that sort of club where they rely on that one player as well to be the face of the club. So um, it was always going to be tricky for him. But I actually didn't know that he went to Everton on a free. I thought they actually paid a fee for him. I'm
What
not
was
sure
it?
if you know that. Yeah, I heard it was he went on a free transfer.
No.
Yeah, so there's no kind of clarity to what the deal is, but regardless, Ancelotti's done a little masterstroke there, getting him on. Obviously, it's the pull of the manager. No offense to any Everton
Oh yeah,
fans
of course.
listening or watching, but that's the pull of the manager where he can get those kind of players, that caliber type of players into the club. So
I mean, let's be real. He was never going to go Everton. Like we can be
uh,
nice about it, but he was never going to go Everton without.
trying to be
Ancelotti.
diplomatic, mate. Trying to be diplomatic.
No, but it's real talk. Like you said, I think Ancelotti is the sole reason he went there.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? That's like most of the three midfielders that they brought in.
Listen, Alan, right? He's going to be the
God.
one. He's just that's the game changer in my opinion. That type of signing, because he will just clean up the pitch whenever he's playing on the pitch. The defense will be a bit more assured as well, having him in front, and then the attackers can just do what they need to do. He will be play a big role in their season, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
100%.
So fantastic recruitment on their part. Next player is Son, that I feel like me and you thought obviously scoring 4 goals, but I kind of think something that watered down his performance was Jose gate crashing his interview and saying, "Oh yeah, Kane's the man of the match." You can tell how disappointed he was as well. Son when Jose said that. I didn't like that personally, but I know how Jose is because I'm sure you've watched the All or Nothing documentary with Spurs on Amazon. He likes to kind of like poke people and try and get a reaction out of them as well, like in a psychological way. But that for me was wrong. Like he scored 4 goals. I know Kane got 4 assists, but it's the goal scorer. I don't know if there's a agenda because he's English, like give him the higher praise. But listen, Son scored 4 goals, amazing goals as well. 4 goals in 2 games, like leading top scorer with Calvert-Lewin. Deserve his props. I didn't know why he did that, but
Yeah,
you
but
know,
this
you,
is.
you could probably shed some light. He's a former manager of your club.
Do you know this will probably be the beginning. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but mark my words. In the coming months, I can sense issues between him and Son.
Yeah,
And
someone will be like, if someone makes a bid for me, I'm out.
but think about it. You've
Yeah.
scored 4 goals, and your manager's openly telling you shouldn't be man of the match.
Because the other guy got 4 assists and scored 1 goal.
So how does that
When
make
has someone
sense?
got that many assists got praised like that? I've never heard of that. No one scores 4 goals in a Premier League match. Let's be honest.
It's unreal. And for me, this is not you. I get what you're saying, it's psychological, but this is
I
probably
don't agree
why.
with it, but I think that's
No,
what
no,
he
no,
did. I don't agree with it.
no. But I'm saying this is probably why he's not Mourinho of old, because he's still doing these nonsense things which are clearly rubbing people up the wrong way. Yeah, and it's like you and me playing football in the park. You score 10 goals, and I'm going up to Johnny on the pitch because he made a sliding tackle and saying, "Oh, mate, you're the best player on the pitch." No, you're not today. Ozzie is.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
Mourinho. I think he hasn't got a lot to learn because he's done amazingly. But I think Mourinho
course,
needs to just know when is the best
Yeah,
time.
that wasn't the right time. It's very early on in the season as well. So you'd normally do that to a player who's slightly not underperforming as well, but scored 4 goals. So come on, that's like maximum levels there right there. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed to see that.
Yeah,
But yeah, props to Son.
yeah, amazing.
Gave me a lot of points in fantasy football, which we'll talk about later on in
Yeah.
the episode. So another player that for me stood out over the weekend was Maupay. So he scored a couple goals, but despite his goals, for me, it's the team as well. I'm quite impressed with the way Brighton are playing. I think a lot of people they might have been favourites to get relegated, but I think there'll be a surprise package. If I'm honest with you, that's the team that will be as in they won't say like challenge Europe or anything, but I think they'll finish. I think they'll finish top half. That's just
Really?
my kind of prediction right now. Like just going across their team, Lamptey. I think we highlighted him last week.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He just looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ben White as well, who was on loan last year with Leeds United. He just looks like a baller, literally. For a centre back, he's just got all the
He's
technique that
class,
you
isn't
need.
it?
He's not John Stones, because that's what that. Do you remember? Do you remember when he came into the league and they're like, yeah, he's gonna play that sort of tiki taka football? No, like Ben White has got amazing ability on the ball, and he's a good defender as well at the same time. Like he can smell like a tackle coming, and he's just like he knows what to do basically. So
He reminds me of
and another
Ferdinand,
couple.
not in that caliber, but in a
No,
sense of
yeah,
his poise, like the ability he has, his play,
yeah.
and he can snuff out challenges. And
Yeah, he can. He can.
that.
He's one for the future. Literally, I
Yeah,
think I can see a lot of. I think Liverpool been linked to him quite heavily, but they've just signed him to a long-term contract due to the fact that his value will increase as time goes on. So
yeah.
I can see next year being a thing where the big clubs will be hunting him down as well. But yeah, they've been amazing to be fair. So I think we'll see. I think we'll see a lot of star performances in their team as time goes on. So yeah, I think it's been an exciting match week too. So on to our next topic is something that's been trending over the last couple of days is Micah Richards and Alex Scott. Unfortunately, have been trolled online regarding their roles at Sky Sports. So a lot of single-minded people, to politely say, believe that they've only been given their roles in Sky Sports due to their race and also their gender with Alex Scott, and also due to the Black Lives Matter movement, which I don't understand. It's not. I don't think it's based on that because they were employed before as well, before all of this happened as well at the same time. So I'd like to get your thoughts on this. Is like, what do you think? Like, is this why are people thinking like this? It's not the right way of looking at it, So, what are your thoughts on this situation?
You know, I clearly can't see why people are thinking like that, but
Mm.
because then it would help to understand why the world is like this in general. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it you got to look at it two ways. There's this thing, Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah, of course, that's one thing, and you can see in media and in television, they're clearly making more of an effort to get people of color more involved in
yeah,
TV. And now people are taking that and purely basing assignments or recruitment because of color. But exactly what you're saying, if you look at Mackay Richards, he's been making great strides over the last 6 to 12 months.
Mm.
If anything, he's a breath of fresh air
yeah.
since he's come
I've
up.
expressed that on my. If you follow me on Instagram, I literally I've expressed that so many times. I feel like he's the only pundit that I actually enjoy listening to right now.
Yeah.
He's a breath of fresh air, and he literally just speaks his mind, and it's like he doesn't say with any biasness as well, which is what I love in a pundit. Like we all have our affiliations, but at the end of the day, your job is to be neutral as well at the same time. And you can just tell he knows the game, he understands the game as well at the same time.
Mm, mm. And you can argue Alex Scott has been in sports media for 4 or 5 years, shall we say? BBC,
Well, she's
football.
educated in sports
Yeah.
journalism. She's got a degree in sports journalism, so it's not like she's just been thrown in because she's a female. She's been
Like,
educated to do this role. She's got more than anyone in terms of credibility to be someone that hosts a program or is a pundit on a program. She's
mm,
won over 100 caps for England.
yeah, and this is it. I think, if people want to think like that, then they're entitled to think like that. But,
Yeah,
you can base it on the fact that they are talented. And
yeah,
it is every 4, 5, 6 years, maybe there is a change in personnel within the
yeah,
sports channels. It will come with Football Focus, it will come with Match of the Day, it will come with Sky Sports, whatever.
Yeah,
The fact that they're black, it doesn't matter.
it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. We need to look beyond that because we could have placed, sorry, apologies, but we could have placed Clinton Morrison.
Yeah,
On
he's
that.
a good pundit as well, by the way.
He's a good pundit, but for me, he's not on the same caliber as
I would agree with that.
some of these other guys. Or we could have put Garth Crooks, who's been there for many years. But for me,
I don't rate Garth Crooks. If I
do you see what I'm saying? And that's when you need to then start looking at whether.
But then that's us analyzing someone based on their performances. That's not based on race. That's not me praising every black person you just mentioned. That's me saying I don't like him because his opinion's a bit, off, or he's better than this person,
And this is how it should be. And it's clear to see the people that are kicking up a fuss still have that warped view of how things should be. And they do, unfortunately, are upset and annoyed. So should Mackay Richards and Alex Scott be bothered? No. Should we bask in the fact that they're being pushed for these type of roles? 100%. If people aren't going to join the journey, that's up to them. I say we should just celebrate these things. And
I think it's amazing that they're on TV. And I liked the post that he did as well, where he mentioned that that to all black or anyone of ethnicity, different ethnicities, to look at him and use him as an example. That if they want to be within this kind of industry, just go for it. Do what you have to do, but work hard and be knowledgeable and do what you have to do. Obviously, we're fellow podcasters as well who maybe aspire to be on the big screen one day. So it's nice to see someone like that speaking so highly and someone we can kind of look up to as well at the same time. So I think what he said on Monday Night Football was fantastic. I think he expressed himself in a very professional way. Didn't sound, he could have done it. He done it in the best way. Like he could have been a bit more sort of like extreme the way he would have wanted to present himself. But at the same time, if you speak in that tone, you're kind of letting those haters or however you want to label them win as well at the same time. So props to him and props to Alex Scott. I hope I see them more on screen because I think they're fantastic pundits. And no one should be judged based on their race or their gender. So good on him. I think it's good that he spoke that out loud as well because sometimes it has to be done. Raheem Sterling did that last year as well. And look how the media are writing articles now. They've changed their tone a little bit. I'm not saying it's like a lot better now, but towards him it's probably better. Do you understand? So
I think just to and round up, I think you're right. And I think whilst this is something to be celebrated, there's still a long way to go.
Of course.
And we can't rest on these things. And you're right, it should be celebrated. So props to those two individuals and many more that are coming through. So
no, I agree. Because for me, like, I don't see a lot of Asian presenters on TV. I don't see a lot of people within football that are Asian as well. So for me, this is just a gateway for more people to, feel comfortable and go ahead and achieve their dreams or whatever aspirations that they have to continue to do that. So I think, look, it's good. It's fantastic to have a role model like that. Growing up for us is probably Ian Wright, where he'd be on TV as well. And we'd like look at him and you can see his personality. And like, you want people's personalities to be on screen. You don't really need a robot to kind of just do and say whatever the screen says in front of him, like it should be how he feels and how he expresses himself. And it's the same with Alex Scott as well. Like she's come from a football background as well, and she's educated. So for me, it's just ridiculous how these people get away with making these kind of comments. But thankfully, the corporate side of it haven't looked at these comments or it hasn't influenced their decision to recruit people like Alex Scott and Micah Richards. So yeah, it is a time for celebration. So I think long may it continue. Hopefully, we'll see more people who deserve to be in these positions on Sky Sports and BT Sports and the other bigger channels. So, so on to the next topic. Well, it's not the next topic. I just wanted to talk about a few transfer deals that have taken place in the last week. The biggest one for me is Thiago and Jota. 2 signings in one day. Like that was just, I literally had a headache that day. I'm not lying to you, Sid, because 1 minute we signed Thiago, like 1 hour later, it's like, yeah, we're getting Jota. And I'm like, nah, this is just, when you're on Twitter, it's just like rumors. It can't be true.
Yeah.
We signed 2 players in one day. Like, I was ecstatic that we got Thiago. I'm not going to say I thought it was going to happen. I wanted it to happen, but the difference between wanting it and then actually for it to happen,
It's
and I think
different.
it's the first time that Liverpool have actually signed a world class player to the club. Like we've signed players that are top class or on the verge of being world class, but no one that was like ready made or is known as the or one of the best midfielders in the world. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for me, that's a big statement. And in terms of Jota, Jota the Shotter, as people like to call him on Twitter. Uh,
What a name.
um, what a name! Perfect signing for me, in my opinion. Our assistant manager today said it in the press conference that he's a pressing machine, and when you watch him play, he's literally like that as well. Like he can play across the front three, which is perfect because we've always discussed rumors about who would come into Liverpool and be cover or challenge for the front three. But we've got one player here who can play across the front three with ease as well. So
Mhm.
perfect signing. Some probably alarm bells in terms of the fee, but I don't know if you know the way we've done these deals are quite smart, and that goes down to Michael Edwards. So the Thiago deal, we're paying 5 million per year across 4 years. And then Jota is 10% the first year, which is 4.5. So we've virtually paid 9.5 right now for these two players. So
It's
we haven't
amazing.
paid up front.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's I think people might, disagree with me, but that's the reason why we didn't get Werner in the end, because it was a release clause, which you have to pay 47 million on the spot. And at this current state, and to be fair, at this minute, the world seems like in such a crazy place right now. I'm praying that football doesn't get cancelled because it might do at this stage. There's no certainty about that. So um, Liverpool had to do what's best for the club and what's best in terms of business interests as well. So, um, but yeah, I'm excited about these two players joining. I think they're the perfect players for us. Um, one more player, maybe I'm being a bit greedy, but one more player, a centre back. Not really too fast who it is, but we just need numbers as well in terms of our squad. So,
Yeah, I
what do
think
you
that
think?
would.
What do you think of the signing? Let's see what you think about it.
I think Thiago. I mean, that goes without saying. Thiago is the biggest game changer. I think, he just brings that quality, experience, winning mentality, and I think one thing that I was saying a few weeks ago is that if you didn't, upgrade your squad,
Yeah.
I would see you struggling to retain the league because
Mm.
regardless of whether you win a squad, you've always got to get that something extra,
Yeah.
so you don't
I
get
think we
left.
would have nicked it, to be honest. I think we have enough quality, but I think it would have been another thing where it would have been down to luck, where everyone has to stay fit throughout the whole season for us to achieve the league. But right now, I feel like we've got the perfect cover with Jota, and also Thiago. With Thiago, there's a lot of he can play with any of our central midfielders and still maintain that balance within the team, which is
Mm,
fantastic. And because he's a deep playmaker as well, he can kind of dictate play as well at the same
mm,
time.
mm.
So he's going to bring a lot of variation to our play as well as predictability because everyone says, "Oh, Genie, Wijnaldum, Milner, Henderson, blah blah blah." They're all the same players, but now we've got someone who's completely different to all of them. So
Mm.
it will add to our game. And Jota gets goals. He literally is the shotter. Like he just gets goals. So
To be
he's
honest,
not the typical. He's not the typical wide man. He's actually like a forward playing inside. He's an inside forward, and he gets the goals and he scores a lot of goals. Very strong on the ball. Like I'm not. There's like highlights of him on YouTube where you can see that people find it hard to shrug him off the ball. He's not the biggest fella either, but he does really well on the ball and he's just electric as well. Provides assists and scored many goals as well. So for me, fantastic piece of business from Liverpool there.
mm,
Really happy with that. Um, another couple of signings. So literally that I think it was on the Friday these signings were announced. Spurs were probably as jubilant as Liverpool fans that day as well. They signed Reguilon and
mm,
Bale on the
mm.
same day. So what's your thoughts on that? Because not to little give you a little cheeky dig there, but they're both linked to United, and
I
they
don't,
seem
I
to
don't,
gel
I
very
don't
well.
care about them. I'm not gonna lie. People are like, "Oh, we missed out on Bill. We missed out on Regulon." Oh, you won't get
Would you have
over it.
liked them in your team? And be
No,
honest,
no,
really?
no. Bale,
Why?
like, when does Bale play?
Say, don't be bitter. Are you
Oh
serious?
no, honestly, I said this to everyone. Bale, people, oh, we missed out on Bale. Okay, whoop de do. Do you see what I'm saying? Bale is
Yeah,
31. Yeah,
yeah,
he hardly plays. Look at him now. He's not going to be fit for another month, they're saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I didn't know that. Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. People are like, oh, yeah, United missed out. Missed out on what? Paying X amount on his wages and then for him to just sit on the bench. I'm all right. If we need a statement signing, I'd rather push and go out for Sancho. Do you see what I'm saying?
But
Then,
Sancho's not happening this year. Would
no,
you
no,
be
no, no, no.
disappointed if Sancho doesn't happen?
No, but I've come to accept it. I want him to come. There's a big difference. Wanting and getting is, do you see what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Like, he's not going to come, fine. But I'm not then going to be like, oh, yeah, wait until October the 5th. Please, 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 please. Do you see what I'm saying? We have to be honest with it. Bale, I'm all right, thanks. Like, people are just like, oh, you've missed out. No, let's keep it moving. If you're going to dwell on that, you're not going to. You're not
I think it was always a gamble if it was any other club, because I think for him to go back to Spurs is just more of a fitting move, where it's his former club. There's more of a romance kind of about it for him going back home, basically, isn't it? So,
if I'm honest,
so yeah, I understand that.
I don't see like a top club going all out for Bale because they see what he brings.
Yeah.
Or what he doesn't bring anymore.
It's his salary, to be fair. I think financially it was been a disaster for most clubs to try and get him, but fitness as well. It would have been, I think, a big deal as well, especially if you were expecting him to play every game. That's not possible at this stage. So, Reguilon, I think it's a great signing. I was very impressed with him last season watching him in the Europa League. I think the concern for other teams not signing was the buyback clause. But the thing with buyback clauses is that it's an agreed fee during a certain period of time where that can be activated. But it still comes down to the player if he wants to leave. And it also comes down to the player if they actually want him back. But rumours are kind of known as that club where they do buyback clauses for all of the players they sell.
Yeah.
And what they normally do is they buy them back, but then they sell them for more money.
Yeah.
And Morata was
prime
example for that as well. Speaking of Morata, you know he just got signed to Juventus today.
Yeah, I saw. It's a merry-go-round, isn't it?
His agent must get a bonus for him to be going back and forth to these amazing clubs.
Like how he does it, I don't know. Atletico, Real, Chelsea, Juve twice. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't add up.
Yeah. You know, Suarez has gone back to not back to, but he's joined Atletico Madrid today as well. So
I saw him crying leaving the training ground.
Oh, was he? I didn't even saw that.
Yeah,
was he crying?
He was crying. Yeah.
That's because he's getting investigated for cheating on his exam for getting an Italian passport, apparently. So I don't know how true that is, but that's the talk of the town at the minute. So so let's highlight some rumors that I found quite interesting this week. Dele Alli to PSG. Bit of a random one. What are your thoughts on that story?
I think again it's just a random one. I don't see him going. I think he's
Is
just
it because he hasn't started in the last couple of games, so people are just trying to put one and two together and try and say, oh, maybe Jose's not his fan anymore. Just because of the documentary as well, it was quite evident that Jose didn't believe that he's a good trainer, and he kind of believed that he didn't have the winner's mentality as well to be at the top.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously difficulties between the two. That's obvious. It doesn't need a genius to work that one out. But I don't think they'll patch it up. It'll be another Pogba situation. He will have to start him soon enough. Do you see what I'm saying? Because keeping Dele Alli hasn't been performing for a while, but he's still a top quality player. You can't deny that.
Of course he is. Last year he showed that last year when Jose joined. So there's still ability in it. It's just trying to get the best out of him. So
I just see how that one is. Talk, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I agree. Another one is Tellez, left back linked with United. I think I spoke to you off air today. I think that would be an amazing sign if you get him.
Yeah,
he's a top player.
Yeah, that excites me. I mean,
yeah,
it's another addition, and you know we'll have a good competition on that left back spot. Do you see what I'm saying? Like Brandon Williams, still young, so he's got a lot to learn. Luke Shaw, like on his day, I still rate him. Like, yeah, his weight is an issue, but you know, Tellez, Luke
Shaw. Is he a player to take you forward as a team? That's what you have to start looking at now. If that's the position you want to be in the future.
And I wouldn't say he's a player to take us forward. I'll definitely say he's a good alternative. Like if we're resting, say we do get Tellez,
Yeah.
I would happily
Then would
have.
that not hamper Williams' development if you have too many left backs in the squad?
But supposedly Williams can actually play on the right as well.
Really?
Yeah, supposedly.
All right. That's
Um,
a
but
strange one.
yeah, you're right. I mean, in sense of first team opportunities, it will hamper him. But
Yeah.
it could be one of those things where competition is good for anyone. If you take an
Yeah,
opportunity
but
and you
three
seize
in
it,
three in one position is quite a lot, though. It's normally two per position. You don't
yeah,
think?
it is. But you've seen both of them do get injuries throughout the
Yeah,
season.
Luke Shaw especially.
Do you
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
I'm saying? So effectively, you can say it's two
Two, yeah.
majority of the time. I don't think you ever had three of them fit at one time.
Mm.
You
Fair
know.
play.
But yeah, it's good.
Um,
It's good times.
Max Aarons to Barca.
That's a shock.
That's an interesting one, because he was linked to Bayern a few weeks ago.
Mm,
Barca have just sold
mm.
Semedo to Wolves, which is for me a fantastic deal. Don't know how they pulled that off, but
I
that's a
mean,
great deal.
it's the agent, isn't it?
That right hand side is gonna terrorize the whole Premier League. Semedo and Traore. Can you imagine
Traore.
that?
I don't even want to. I'm not even going to watch when we play Wolves because it's just going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
Um,
That would be a good sign. It's a bit of a strange one. It's like loans and then add-ons, and it's not quite clear cut in terms of what they want to do.
mm,
Um, at the minute, they're a selling club. They can't recruit until they sell numbers. So they've sold Vidal to Inter for 1 million. Like, might have just sold him for free. Mate. What's the 1 million going to do?
but
I
even
think
Suarez
Rakitic
is.
is gone as well. And Suarez is gone. So three players there.
Suarez only went for 3.7 mil.
He went for money. I thought it was a free as well.
No, he went for I think it was like 3.7.
They're just trying to get rid of players now. That's literally all it is. That's literally get these
This is,
players off the wages as well, because obviously they must be. I think they've put, including Messi as well. Messi earns God knows how much. I think close to like a mil a week or something.
it's mad. It's mad.
So they have to kind of break the wage bracket somewhere, isn't it? So another one is Ismail Assar to Liverpool. So even though we signed Jota, that was a bit of a surprise one, but apparently we're close. But I'm not really like. I actually tweeted the day we signed Jota that, oh, I'm being greedy here, but what if we get Sarr as well? But I don't think it will happen. I think if it was to happen, we would have to sell quite a few players. So that would include Shaqiri and probably Wilson, who I believe is linked with Burnley today. So Burnley are in discussions with us to purchase Wilson for about 15 to 20 million. So that'd be a good deal on his part for his own development.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd love to see Saar there. His
he'll
idol
be a
plays
threat.
for the club as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a good fit on that part. But yeah, that wraps up our rumors and wraps up our episode as well. So thank you for listening and watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So next episode we'll highlight MatchWeek 3. Actually, I just remembered fantasy football. How did you do, Sid?
I think I'm on top of the points. So
Top of what?
I'm joking. I'm 59th.
Oh, Sid, you're dropping down.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
This
happened?
I didn't. No, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do it this week. I didn't update my team in time, so I totally missed that. So no, so I totally missed the mark on that. But next week I'll be back strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to give a couple of shout outs. So the manager of the week in our league is someone named Sadiq Khan. He got 98 points in 1 week. That's amazing. I thought I did well. I got 90 points and I was just like jumping around. But yeah, he certainly beat my score there. Another of our participants, his freshness Edgar, as he likes to call himself, he's still number one with 166 points. And closest second is someone I know very well, is my manager from work who's joined the league, Mr. Andy Lewis. So he's close with 159 points. So
Nice.
I've got a little bit rivalry with my manager as well, because we've got our own work league and I'm second and he's first. So
Oh, really?
we've got our own little rivalry going on there. But yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, I'm fifth, so I'm not too disappointed about that. I got 90 points, so I'm on 149 points. So the guys above me, I'm coming for you guys. You know, I want that first spot. So yeah, I'm not
He's coming.
not a good loser. So yeah, so I'll be there. But yeah, that wraps us up. So thank you guys. Thanks for listening or watching. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week with some more content. Who knows? We might even do a live stream for Sid on transfer deadline day where he might get Sancho that day. You never know. So, or he might be disappointed. He might not. United might end up signing David Brooks or someone. Championship. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you and see you soon.
Take care.